Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Raiders Nation Report, where we dive deep into all things silver and black. I'm your host, bringing you the latest from the gridiron with that unbreakable Raider spirit. Now, picture this. It's a classic AFC West showdown, the kind that gets your blood pumping. The Las Vegas Raiders facing off against their archrivals, the Kansas City Chiefs. These two teams have been battling it out since the AFL days, with epic clashes that echo the Raiders' rebellious legacy. But folks, today's story isn't just about the scoreboard. It's about a warrior going down in the heat of battle. What happens when one of the NFL's most ferocious pass rushers gets sidelined? Buckle up, because we're breaking it all down. Let's start with the harsh reality from Arrowhead Stadium. The Raiders hit the road to Kansas City, hoping to pull off an upset against the defending champs, but it turned into a tough day at the office. Final score, Chiefs 31, Raiders 0. Ouch. That's the kind of shutout that stings, especially for a team that's been grinding through a rebuilding phase. But the real gut punch? Star defensive end Maxx Crosby, the heart and soul of that Raiders defense, suffered a knee injury in the second quarter and didn't return. Yeah, you heard that right. Max, the guy who's been terrorizing quarterbacks since he burst onto the scene, limped off the field after a low block from Chiefs tight end Noah Gray. And get this, he's also been nursing a back issue, which might have compounded things. Before he exited, Crosby racked up 3 tackles, showing that fire we all love. But without him, the Raiders' D couldn't contain Patrick Mahomes and company, who rolled up over 400 yards of offense. Now, let's break it down play by play, because this isn't just any injury, it's a potential game-changer for the season. Crosby was in his element early on, pressuring Mahomes and disrupting the Chiefs' rhythm. That low block from Gray, it's one of those legal but brutal moves in the trenches, where tight ends chop at the legs to open running lanes. Max went down clutching his left knee, and the replay showed it twisting awkwardly. Trainers rushed out, and the Allegiant Stadium faithful. Wait, no, this was on the road, but you know Raiders Nation was watching from afar, hearts in their throats. Crosby's been an iron man for this team, playing through pain like the legends before him. Remember, this is the same guy who earned 4 Pro Bowl nods in just 6 seasons, with 63.5 career sacks. That puts him in elite company, folks. This year alone, through 7 games, he's got 4 sacks, proving he's still that disruptive force off the edge. Speaking of which, let's zoom out for some tactical analysis. The Raiders' defense relies heavily on Crosby's motor. It's relentless, like a freight train that doesn't stop. Without him, the pass rush fizzled. Guys like Christian Wilkins and Tyree Wilson stepped up, but they couldn't generate the same heat. Mahomes had all day to throw, completing 70% of his passes for 3 touchdowns. On the flip side, the Raiders' offense struggled mightily. Aiden O'Connell at quarterback threw for under 200 yards, and the run game was non-existent against that stout Chiefs front. Turnovers? Yeah, a couple of interceptions didn't help. Coach Antonio Pierce has been preaching resilience, but this loss drops the Raiders to 2-5 on the season, putting them in a tough spot in the AFC West standings. The Chiefs, meanwhile, improved to 6-1, solidifying their grip on the division, just like those dominant years under Andy Reid. To put this in historical context, think about the Raiders' storied past. This franchise was born in Oakland back in 1960, with Al Davis at the helm, embodying that just win, baby mentality. They've got 3 Super Bowl rings, 11, 15, and 18, thanks to icons like John Madden calling the shots, Ken Stabler slinging the ball, and Marcus Allen bulldozing through defenses. Charles Woodson, a Raider through and through, with that Hall of Fame swagger. And don't forget the rivalries. The Chiefs have been thorns in our side since the 1960s, with games full of drama, like the 1970 AFL Championship where the Raiders fell short. Or more recently, those overtime thrillers in Vegas. Crosby fits right into that legacy, a homegrown talent drafted in the 4th round out of Eastern Michigan in 2019. He's not just stats, he's got that Raider edge, tattooed with the team's motto, commitment to excellence. His 63.5 sacks? That's already more than some Hall of Famers in fewer games. Compare that to legends like Howie Long, who terrorized lines in the 80s. Long had 84 sacks over 13 years, but Crosby's on pace to shatter records if he stays healthy. Statistically speaking, let's crunch some numbers. This season, the Raiders' defense ranks 15th in the league for sacks, largely thanks to Crosby's production. Without him, that drops off a cliff, Last year, when he missed time, the team allowed an average of 28 points per game. Career-wise, his 63.5 sacks put him third among active edge rushers under 28 years old, behind only Nick Bosa and Myles Garrett. And get this trivia nugget. Crosby's the first Raider since Khalil Mack to lead the team in sacks for 4 straight seasons. Mack, by the way, was traded away in 2018, a move that still haunts fans. Pop culture tie-in. Think about how Crosby's intensity mirrors characters like the Warriors in Mad Max. Fitting for a guy named Max, right? Or his community work in Vegas, hosting charity events at the Death Star, that sleek Allegiant Stadium that's become a landmark since the team's move in 2020. I reached out for some insights. Okay, hypothetically, but let's imagine what the pros might say. Picture Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce in the post-game presser. Max is our warrior, our leader. That injury. It's tough, but this team's built on grit. We'll get the MRI results soon, and knowing Max, he'll be back stronger than ever. Or Crosby himself, channeling that Raider toughness. Pain's part of the game, man. I've been banged up before, but Raiders Nation knows I'll fight through it. We're not done yet. Even a fictional fan quote from the Black Hole tailgate, losing Max hurts more than the shutout. He's our modern-day Stabler, unstoppable. Chiefs got lucky today. Experts around the league. A pundit like ESPN's Mina Kimes might chime in. Crosby's absence exposes the Raiders' depth issues. If it's a serious knee tweak, combined with that back, we're talking weeks out, maybe more. That could tank their playoff hopes. Looking ahead, what does this mean for the silver and black? The Raiders are staring down a brutal schedule. Next up, the Bengals at home, then the Dolphins. Without Crosby, the defense might struggle to contain elite QBs like Joe Burrow. Predictions: if the knee's just a sprain, he misses a game or two, and the team bounces back to .500 by mid-season. But if it's worse, an ACL or meniscus tear, oof, that could sideline him for the year, forcing GM Tom Telesco to eye the trade deadline for edge help. Playoff implications: the AFC is stacked, with the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills leading the pack. Raiders need to win out in the division to sniff the wild card. Remember, they haven't made the postseason since 2021. But here's my bold take. This lights a fire under the team. Davante Adams, that superstar wideout, steps up on offense, and young guns like Brock Bowers make plays. Long-term, Crosby's resilience could inspire a turnaround, much like how the team rallied after Al Davis's passing in 2011. And let's not forget the bigger picture. The Raiders' move to Vegas has injected new life. Allegiant Stadium, with its black hole vibe and pirate ship motifs, hosts concerts, UFC fights, even Super Bowl 58 last year. It's a pop culture hub, where stars like Snoop Dogg rock Raider gear. The fan base. Raiders Nation is global, from Oakland holdouts to LA loyalists, all united by that skull and crossbones. Trivia time. Did you know the Raiders are the only team to win Super Bowls in 3 different decades? 70s, 80s, and if we're dreaming, maybe the 20s with this crew. Wrapping this up, Raiders fans, tough loss, tougher injury, but this is what makes football the ultimate drama. Maxx Crosby embodies the Raider way, tough, tenacious, never backing down. Stay tuned for updates on his status, and mark your calendars for next Sunday's clash. Whether you're in the black hole or watching from home, keep that commitment to excellence alive. What do you think? Will the Raiders rally? Hit us up in the comments, subscribe for more, and as always, just win, baby. This is your Raiders Nation Report, signing off.